Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's ArcheAge Livestream. I'm the Blue Muzz, your community manager. We have Brolin. Crolin himself is here for you guys. He decided to show up so that I could grill him on some questions about Fresh Start. Welcome.
Thank you. How have you been?
I've been, pretty busy because I think, we've been not telling people about this for a long time, and then very suddenly we announced on the 14th that, we're doing a Fresh Start, and well, everyone knew that, I should say. But yeah, Fresh Start is coming on the 5th. As well as 4.5. So there's a lot to go over, but I just want to caveat this today real quick. This is a fresh start conversation today on this stream. 4.5, some of it trickles over, obviously, but most of the 4.5 questions we'll talk about later. There will also be some blogs that I'm going to be putting up and stuff. So first thing I want to do is I want to kind of talk about the schedule that I have planned out for the release of information for you guys. We've been talking quite a bit about this. So we have 314. We announced. If you want to just go to Big Cam, we can show. So right here, we've got, there's a spring sale calendar if you guys want to check that out. But we have the letter from the team, and this right here, if you haven't read through this, please read through this. And you can find this just on our website. It's quite a bit of information, kind of an overview of the direction of 4.5 with a little dip into Fresh Start. Then we have the Fresh Start right here. This is going to be your progression page, so we're going to talk a lot about this. So anyway, let me go through. 314, we announced producer's letter, and you guys all got to see that. 316, I believe that's today. That's going to be the Fresh Start info dump. That's what I have this labeled as. Then I'm also going to point all of you guys to our Fresh Start FAQ on the forums. I'm slowly collecting questions and slowly getting them answered, so I appreciate your patience on that. Merv's been doing Crolin's been doing a great job helping me out there. But yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. I will push you guys to this because that's where I'm collecting questions, sending it out to the team, sending it out to XL, getting those answers, and bring it back. Unfortunately, we still need to do this FAQ because a lot of people want to get their answers right now as opposed to going and reading.
And I think we're going over some stuff that's not yet in the FAQ too, so we'll get new information, and I'm going to do my best to address all you guys' questions. I see some of them already coming through in the stream. And I also just wanted to say, what's up, guys? I saw some love coming across there. I miss you guys, too. It's good to see you.
Yeah, let's hold off, though, on the questions for right now. I'm literally going to ignore them in chat for right now, and we'll pick them back up later because we have a lot to go over. And as you can tell, I'm talking quickly because there's so much. All right, so 323 next weekend. Next week's live stream is going to all be about the... yeah, it's changing. So it's going to be all about the dragon raising. So you guys will learn about that. I know that some of you guys kind of already understand it, but we'll answer a lot more questions about that next week. We're also going to be talking about the crafting request system, which is pretty cool. Then I'm going to put a forum post up next week that's going to be for the 4.5... I'm sorry, yeah, for the 4.5 skill changes questions, and we're going to try to get like our subject matter experts like Quilladon. You guys all know he's like a skills master, right? So we're going to get as many answers on those as we can next week, though, so keep those until then. 327, we're going to have another blog. I'm aiming for 327 about shadow invasions and some more stuff, especially regrade. That's going to be a big one there.
A lot of changes there.
A lot of changes. And people are kind of on the fence about whether they're good or bad. I've heard it in both directions, but we'll talk more about that. And you guys can...
pretty normal.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like any game change ever. Then next, the week after that, 330, is actually a holiday, and I had it listed for a live stream talking about shadow invasions, crafting requests, basically answering as many questions about... Fresh Start and the skill changes and stuff like that. Unfortunately, since it's a holiday, we won't be here, so I think I'm going to try to push it to Thursday. Here's your little bit of a heads up. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet, but I will get back to you guys after I talk to the team. Then 4.5, that's going to be launch. We're going to go ahead and tell everybody that it's launch. We will not have a stream that day, but the very next day, 4.6, is Friday. We will be doing a big stream that day, including a ton of giveaways, so there's that. Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the biggest questions that we get about Fresh Start.
There's a really big question on the screen right now.
Okay. Yeah, the infamy one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to ignore it until we get to that, guys.
Okay.
I've already said it's changing, but we'll find out how in a minute, or maybe you already know, but yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Why is Rift Prime not what we're doing? Why are we not doing ArcheAge Prime?
So you're just going to start off strong then.
I'm going to start off strong. The community has asked a lot, and I want to make sure that this is answered.
Okay, I'm just going to talk through it with you guys a bit. So, you know, I'm really happy for the Rift team and the great thing that they've pulled off with Prime. I think that's a great approach to games, especially, you know, during this year. And it's something that we've wanted for ArcheAge for a long time. You know, the team and I have had the concept of doing something like that with ArcheAge for, I'd say, 2.5 years. And it's something that we feel very strongly about and something we'd love to see, something we think would be healthy for the game. It may not work the best in other regions, but I think it would work really well for us. We had a lot of conversations with XL, a lot of negotiation, and what you see is we don't have the final say. You know, XL made the call. We're going with the same progression server that they have, and that's kind of where we're at with it. It's always important to remember that we're a publishing channel, and they're the developer, and they have the final say with that model. Mm-hmm. So we're going forward. Now, that being said, I do think this is a stark change for us. I think that we'll see a slower rate of progression be very beneficial, and it's not a sub-only server, but it's different than we've done it before. So we're just going to see it through, and that's where we're at.
Excellent. Okay, good. That was the first one. Let's go over this real quick. Fresh start progression server. Mm-hmm. What is the progression server? Let's talk about that first.
Right. So I mentioned that this is different, and all of our fresh start servers have always been different. We've changed it up, you know, sometimes in minor ways, other in more major ways in the previous 2 releases of fresh start. But this time around, we're following Korea's Echidna server very closely, in fact. And basically what that means is all of the last 4 years of ArcheAge's content will be released over a 8-month period. So we'll see some of those systems coming back month by month. We've actually divided into 5 distinct phases. And you guys can check out this website and see what will be happening in the first 2 phases. There's some really good takeaways if you want to drill down into more info on that first craft section for me, Muzzy.
Yes.
Yep. So some of the main things are we have the level 50 cap in place. We haven't seen a level 50 cap since, you know, Secrets of Ionod, right? This has been years. Like, does anybody even remember that meta? Maybe, I don't know. But the level 50 cap is in place. People will be running around with mostly Heroic Dungeon and Mag gear. We'll have some world bosses available, but it'll be highly restricted, definitely for the first month. Launch is going to be a really tense, kind of interesting period. I'm personally hype about, you know, these glorious Halcyona battles that we all remember, or secret tree farms and all that good stuff. And
you know, also with a progression server, I think a lot of people say fresh start comes and goes very quickly, and with a progression server, it is going to extend the life of the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of that.
It is, and I mean, it's going to change dynamically every time we release a new phase. So we're just going to see how that goes, and I'm supportive of it. I know I'm going to be playing. And I'd like to see how you guys check out this page and what you think about the way that it's segmented. Again, this is really close to the way Korea did it with their Echidna server, and the way we'll be doing it with Nui and Ezi servers in our regions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nui for North America, Ezi for EU, and those are the fresh start server names. Yeah. I already saw somebody saying, change the names. Now, we used to have an Ezi and Nui, I think, or...
we did.
What was that story?
But those were servers, those were legacy servers that were removed during the first server evolution.
Yeah, evolutions, yeah.
Yep. And so we just decided it was appropriate to bring it back. They're simple names, they're names that everybody knows, and that's what we're moving forward with.
All right, so I do have a question in chat that is related to progression server. How can you call it progression server if you're not rolling it back to, like, let's say 2.9 or something like that? Why is it a 4.5 on the new fresh start?
I think the most important thing is we maintain the same build on Legacy and Fresh Start. You know, we don't have a separate build that we use to support this. I think a lot of that has to do with the way that ArcheAge is managed in whole. If you had multiple builds for multiple regions, it gets really cumbersome and confusing from a dev pipeline perspective. This is what we can do within the same build. So it's going to be segmented. It'll still have 4.5 content, but a lot of that content will be locked, and we'll just see how that progresses.
Right. Okay.
I saw a comment in chat. Someone said Nui came back. I mean, that's kind of what Nui does, right?
Right. She comes back. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, kind of a lot of fresh start, a lot of 4.5 issues where or players are worried about past issues becoming an issue again. One of those things is releasing, like as we saw with 3.0, there were a lot of issues with the releasing a fresh start and a new patch at the same time.
Yep.
So what are we doing to combat that this time so that the issue won't happen?
Yeah, so 3.0 suffered from a lot of difficulties behind the scenes. You know, we had a lot of new supporting systems for ArcheAge, not just the game client or the servers or the code or whatever. There were a lot of billing systems and our authentication system that received upgrades during that time, and that compounded the server load and the problems that we were seeing. We also had issues with our queues. You guys may remember that.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of changes made by Excel to support better queuing functionality.
Okay.
So we'll see those this time around. There's also a couple other differences. We have a 48-hour restriction on housing placement, so that alleviates the initial rush. Not completely. Obviously, people want a level race as well, but that takes away from some of it. And then we're releasing midweek instead of on a weekend. So I think all of these mitigating factors in place will be able to manage the load a lot better. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect. Historically, when we've released content, we've endured rush situations. Most MMOs do. We try to handle that load as quickly as possible, but ArcheAge is a special sort of beast when it comes to that stuff. And we're going to do our best with it. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but we've made a lot of improvements, and a lot of things are in place to help support that.
So in conjunction with that, will we increase the server cap at launch? I think it was 600% or something like that, and then, yeah.
Yeah, again, 3.0 Fresh Start servers were a special beast. They actually have held the most players that any ArcheAge server has ever had in any region. The level cap was raised to try and support as many people as we could to get everybody out of the queue. Obviously, EU struggled with that a little bit more than NA did. This time around, we basically have the ability to have the same capacity, and we intend to raise it to, again, absorb as much of the queue into the game as much as possible. Now, those level caps start out a little bit lower when it's released, because if we had, you know, the highest possible level cap when the server just opened, we would struggle with, like, you know, hundreds of players in the exact same zone with the same quest, and it's already overloaded, like you guys know. So we have to be responsible with that and segment the way that's launched. So level caps will start off in place, and they'll raise over time.
Another past issue that players have had that I want to bring to the forefront to get your take on. Will there only be one NA and one EU Fresh Start server, and will we announce a new one, like a second one in NA like we did with, I think it was 3.0, in surprise, and are we going to surprise players with another Fresh Start server?
let's just talk about that surprise first. When we released 3.0, we had, you know, a long lead-up trail. There was a lot of hype around Dwarven and Warborn races. It was a seasonal release. We did it on a weekend. It was kind of this perfect storm of a release for us. And we saw just that mounting kind of interaction with ArcheAge and the need to have two servers to support. So we have the second server dormant. Vengeance was dormant. And we didn't intend to release it, but when we saw the overwhelming response, we decided to make that call. Now, this time around for 4.5, and with Legends Return, we only have one server prepped for each region. So it's our intent to just move forward. That means that we could encounter really high queue times, but we've committed to only releasing one server per region.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. We've got pages of questions here that we want to get through. So I see your questions in chat. However, we will be answering questions from chat if we have time at the end. And if not, I'll be pushing you guys to that FAQ on Fresh Start specifically. If you guys are asking for 4.5 stuff, there are a couple generalized questions here for 4.5 that we're going to answer, but we're not going to get into details on 4.5. So, will there be launch packs? And if so, will the Fresh Start ones be different from the legacy ones?
Yeah, the answer is yes. We're just going to do our same thing we've always done with releases. We have the Silver, Gold, and Archeum packs, and they will be segmented for Fresh and Legacy.
Great. So this is so this one's just kind of an issue that I know you guys are feeling with. I actually saw somebody in chat saying this as much, but why are transfers failing so often lately? There have been some major, like, I get 20 messages a day, and I always say, talk to support. They know about it. They're going to fix it for you. But what is the cause? What's going on, and what are we doing?
Yeah, you know, we have the manual way to fix it, but the automated system that's in place has just been struggling, like you guys have seen. So it's been on our priority list. Apple God, you might know him from PTS. He's a technical producer on ArcheAge, has been working with Excel week over week trying to alleviate it. They've applied some fixes. It's still struggled, so it's in this state of non-resolution, but we intend to keep working on it. It's a priority.
Right. Thank you. And so this is kind of a tough one. How can you insist that a new Fresh Start doesn't hurt the legacy server populations?
That's an interesting question, because I don't think I've ever insisted that it didn't. Basically what we see, and this is just general behavior without giving very specific statistics.
But we do track this stuff.
We do, absolutely, and it's something that we closely analyze. You know, I'd say Fresh Start definitely impacts Legacy. There's no denying that. And mostly it's this sort of curiosity pattern that I've seen happen where Legacy people, may be dragged into Fresh Start by their friends coming back to the game, or they're just caught up in the hype and they want to check it out. Generally, we've seen Legacy people participate in Fresh Start, but they're not the majority of the people that do. It's mostly returning players. Fresh Start is really about kind of re-engaging people who remember ArcheAge and like the early stages of it. But Legacy people do come over, and the general behavior is they'll play for 2 or 3 months, and then when the part of Fresh Start they liked stops being fun for them, they just move back to their Legacy server. That's something that happens repeatedly. So there is that period of, some Legacy servers having less of a population when Fresh Start releases, but generally we've seen them bounce back. We also have, the fully joined auction houses in all regions now. That was a point of contention previously when we released Fresh Start. Some of the auction clusters that had less participation suffered a little bit more, but it's the global pool now. So we'll just see how that goes. But that's generally the
Fresh Start ones will not have access.
Yeah, Fresh Start is also
they're separate, and including cross-server arenas, they are separate there as well.
That's correct.
They will not be participating in that in the beginning. It may open up over time as sort of that leveling, catching up happens with more Legacy stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what Fresh Starts do. They eventually catch up. Okay, next one. On Fresh Start, will Rakala and Animar, we had this discussion last time, be available from the start?
And I believe that question is asked because the Dwarf and Warborn race are not being introduced when this server is released.
They are not.
And their corresponding starting zones, Air Rain Rock, Auber Cradle, and Sunbite Wilds are all also deactivated. But Animar and Rokala, to your question, will be available. They still will have the 48-hour housing restriction in place.
Okay, on Fresh Start, will Hasla weapons be available in the first phase?
Interesting. No, they will not be. So we've seen no tokens dropping in the build, and that kind of alarmed us. We asked XL, some of the people on the ArcheAge team were members when we were in early alpha and beta stages, and we remember what it was like for players to rush Tier 2 Hasla and then ultimately Tier 3 Hasla. So that's one of the first things that we look at. It's on our big checklist of things. And that we
what do players do? Consider it for our build. Yeah.
Especially when you have like a greater dungeon gear or a mag meta cap. People are going to look for things like, the Nodachi that came from Mist-Song or whatever. But so hostile weapons are a part of that. We checked and we didn't see any tokens on our build, so we asked XL and they confirmed that hostile weapons will not be available on Fresh Start and that the hostile rift has been removed.
Yep. Excellent. So at what point in 4.5, both in Fresh Start and non-Fresh Start, this is kind of a cross one, will the T3 gems be made available?
So we've seen tier 3 Luna gems in our build, so Legacy will likely get them at the release of...
We say likely because our build is still not released build.
And that's it. I just want to I want to confirm before we do it, but all indication points to Luna gems being available for Legacy at the release of 4.5, but Fresh Start will elapse several months. It's one of those things that we have in the calendar. We haven't revealed those phases yet, but it's quite some way down the line. It's basically at the plan to release Tier 3 Luna Gems when Aranor gear is released on Fresh Start, so that's quite a ways away.
Okay. Another big one, I actually just saw it asked in chat, and this is why I asked you guys to hold off, because we actually have 3 pages of questions here that I've collected just this week, and I know that we're going to get more after this, especially details on the answers that we've given. Although, if you listen, I think you're getting a lot of details here. So this one is important. On Fresh Start, since Aurora won't be available for Brazier farming to get points, how will we make regrade scrolls? Metallic crates have points? Is that the only way? So let me break that question down a little bit. So parts of Aurora are available. Diamond Shores and Mist Marrow are available, but the rest of it is deactivated. That means creatures won't spawn, Braziers won't be available, and Braziers are generally the main point at which regrade points come into the world. So we've had concerns about this. This was basically red flagged by our internal team when we saw it, and so we brought that question to XL, and we're awaiting clarification from them. We do know that points are going to come into the world, but it's going to be at a much slower rate. So our question to XL is not necessarily how will people get points, but it's more about, is it intended to have a throttle during the early stages? Are regrades meant to be kept rare during the first phase? And when they're introduced in the second phase, will that alleviate the problem? Will we see regrade scrolls reach ridiculous prices like we did at original release? Those are all the questions that we have out to them right now, so we're waiting for those answers. Great. On Fresh Start, will family fishing be activated?
I've seen no indication that family fishing is not activated, but we do understand the community's concerns around that with alt abuse and the amount of gold that's generated from it.
Yeah.
So that's another question that's out for XL.
Okay, yep. Let's see. This is a big one.
Let me grab one more from chat.
Okay, go for it.
Just because it's on the topic that we're talking about right now. Diamond Shores will be available, but the library will not. The library will be introduced at a later phase.
Yep.
So when you try and walk into those portals, they just won't work.
Great. And you can go to other places. You can go to Markala and all of them, but there's just nothing activated. You can go to the land. You can't place houses or anything like that. But it will be there, just nothing is interactive.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen a build where that's segmented at stage 1 currently. But the way that I've seen ArcheAge work in the past would indicate that the terrain in Geo is there. There's just nothing to do there.
Yep.
That's an important point because some people end up placing secret farms way in the mountains on, like Northern Sun Gold or something like that. So it will be an important part to see if we can actually place trees there. That's something that we're considering already and information that we'll likely release.
Yeah, and you won't be able to farm for... I mean, Archean Waters, those will not be accessible. Like, any of the interactive parts of it will not be accessible. Right. Okay, this is a big one. This is a big one, and the players have been asking this a lot. Is the cash shop going to be any different in Fresh Start? Will it progress with the server?
Yeah. So the answer is yes. It's strongly restricted from what I've seen. The cash shop, I mean, so let's talk about the fundamental thing. If a system is not there, there's nothing to sell around it, right? So all of those things that are gated behind systems coming in the future are just removed from the cash shop because they can exist. There's nothing to support them. What the cash shop will focus on at release is the standard things that it always has, and that's things like tax certificates, land upgrade, building management certs, those sorts of things. Inventory expansion, those are kind of the mainstay of that.
And we're not going to see stellar or lunar farms until like stage, phase 3 or 4. So it's going to be a while.
Yep. And
and no majestic trees or drills and stuff like that.
And that's something that happened last time around with the 3.0 Fresh Start release. We had drills and majestic trees for vocation. But those have all been pulled back and they will not be introduced until phase 3 or 4, like Muzzy mentioned.
I love this note here, this one. Yeah, this is good. Go ahead.
When I was running through the questions earlier, I kind of wrote out some responses, but I'm just speaking through them now. Muzzy pointed out I wrote down rumbling saplings because when I'm anticipating what people are going to ask, I mean, I'm surprised I'm not seeing it in chat right now, but no, those are gone. And as long as I'm on this team, I hope that I can make it so they never appear again. But that's just a question that we've always gotten. So. If you have specific questions about exactly what is or isn't on the marketplace, we have a much more detailed list and we can address those in a FAQ or in the forum format.
Tea Time for Kitten asked if I'd be joining the guild again when they reform TTK on Fresh Start. I'm actually probably not going to play on Fresh Start. I really like having one character I can focus on. I was already on a Fresh Start, Vengeance. It got turned into Legacy. I think I'm on Forsaken ones right now, so I'm learning a lot from them. I'm going to continue that way. Okay, next question. On Fresh Start, will there be stat, costumes, and undies at the start?
No, right now those are slated to come in during phase 2, so they will not be available initially.
Okay.
I saw a question from chat. Will Fresh Start have RNG boxes at launch? The answer is highly likely. I don't know if they're going to have the same content that Legacy does, but there's a good chance that they will have those boxes there. I mean, again, the pool from those things has to be based on what's available, and that's the information that I have about that right now.
Okay. Next one is Fresh Start running on the 4.5 patch. We've kind of already said this. Yes. Except that it is restricted, so some of the things you will get access to as the progression server progresses. Sorry to use that word twice in the same sentence.
Yeah, interesting question, because in 4.5, you guys see dragons everywhere on all of our creative art and whatnot, and that's just, dragons are a main feature in the 4.5 release. So we asked XL, is it possible to get a dragon on Fresh Start servers? And they responded with, yes, it is. At release.
At release. But good luck killing Red Dragon
That's the thing.
in Ethereum or I'm sorry, Illustrious or Magnificent Gear.
That's it. So it's going to be an interesting situation because that key item does drop from Red Dragon.
If it happens, though, oh my god.
What we've seen is it's tradable. But fighting Red Dragon in Mag with a lot of competition is a very interesting situation. So, I mean... we'll see if people end up actually getting dragons. I know that in Korea, I don't know if they're still under this case, but with their Fresh Start server that released in January, no one had dragons for quite some time. So I don't know if somebody's got one since then. But yeah.
Okay, I'd like to see how that goes.
Challenge accepted. I like that.
Oh, I know. That's what I want to see. I mean, if it happens, you better be filming that. You better be recording that. I want to see that.
And let's make a deal right now.
Oh God.
This is all
Oh God.
So the first guild who can kill Red Dragon on either NA or EU, once per region. And I'm making this up as I go, so forgive me.
Oh my God. What is he promising?
We'll put trophies out again.
Really? Just the first time?
Yeah. For the first Red Dragon kill on Fresh.
On each Fresh?
Yeah. I mean, it's good to celebrate that stuff.
Trophies went away.
It's not that big of a deal. But let's just celebrate, those first kills. Because somebody accepted that challenge.
Okay,
so.
That's awesome. I love it. That's cool. Thank you. That'll be fun for them. Okay, so next one. This is a big one. A lot of people have been asking about this. On Fresh Start, will there be a change to max guild size also in 4.5 release?
Okay, this is a tough question, guys, and I see it coming up in chat. With the 4.5 release, regardless of if you're on Fresh or Legacy, guild size is decreased to a maximum of 50 members. That's a big job.
Yeah.
So the reason behind this is, XL had a lot of insight on just the disparity between larger guilds and smaller guilds, and 100 cap versus a 50 cap. So they decided to scale it back, and that was their call. Now with that, it means that we're going to see the way, existing guilds have more than 50 members in them currently. So if you have a guild that's under those circumstances, those members will be grandfathered in, and you won't be able to invite new people until you're under that 50 cap. That is the detail that we have right now. Well, we can look at how that affects nations and the total player nation limits. I see that coming up in chat, so we'll get clarification on that. The thing that we do have confirmation on right now is just the guild cap at 50.
And also nations won't, in Fresh Start, nations will not be available until a future phase when the castle lands are able to be claimed.
Yep.
Okay, you happy about that answer? Are we going to move on?
I mean, what do you mean, am I happy about that answer?
Okay, are you...
Do I agree with that answer?
Yeah.
I'm very specifically not agreeing or disagreeing with things. I'm just giving, the facts as I know them, and let's move forward.
Okay. On Fresh Start, will everyone start with full labor?
So generally the way that works is your labor starts at 0 and begins regenerating when you log in your first character. So in the past, generally the answer is no. Okay. You're not going to start with full labor.
So there's a relation question to that, and I actually don't know if we have that here. I may have forgotten that one, but we can find out if you don't know. But it has to do with if you get patron time now, does it start at the point at which you...
I'd honestly just recommend that everybody holds off on patron time right now, buy it when the server is released. But I think that it's probably not going to elapse. We know that whenever we have a new build internally or we create new accounts, characters' labor always starts off at 0 and then begins regenerating, even on our GMs, even internally. So I expect it will not be triggered. The labor regeneration will not begin until the first character is logged in.
Yep. Okay. Next one we have... Okay, so on Fresh Start, will there be an AFK timer?
So that's a good question. I can say that the AFK timer and being enabled or off is completely based on our queue size. So if we see a lot of people are queuing, we will likely have the AFK timer on, and that's to ensure that people who are just not playing are booted from the server. It's not foolproof, obviously, but it's something that we like to have in place when queue times are very high.
And I will say that AFK timers in the past have caused issues in certain ways, so there's always like a... do we turn it on? Let's turn it on when we need to turn it on kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay. Next one. This one is a little bit technical, but I think we got it. If I bought the $10 pack, the Fresh Start... Here, let's scroll down here so you guys can see. We'll talk about these for a second. These are reserving your place. They're not early access. They are pre-ordering so that you can get your name reserved and your character made, because a lot of times what happens is you have that rush as soon as servers are open to create your character, and everyone just chooses like default and then just moves on. If not, then they lose precious time, which is something that we want to try to help players avoid. And so now you have this right here where you can reserve your name, provided nobody else has also already gotten a pack and reserved your name instead of you. So make sure that you do that if you do want a specific name on there.
Yeah, we always joke internally because at the beginning of Fresh Start, unless you are the guy that thinks ahead and plans your appearance and saves it, we see just a ton of the stock character model logging in. So the ability to log in and create your appearance or whatever should mix that up a little bit.
Okay, so this one specifically, if I have the $10 pack, can I still buy the $100 pack for a fresh start entry? And is there a discount in doing so? Like, is there a difference?
You know, that would have been a very nice thing to have, like some sort of a way to upgrade that. But we generally just thought that people would go one way or another, since the price points are pretty different, and we just left it at that. So there's no way to upgrade at this time, and that's where it's up.
Okay. On Fresh Start, will pirates have a fish vendor still?
So, I'm old, and when I saw that question, I laughed.
I didn't know because I don't have that
and
historical
I went
knowledge.
to Muzzy. I'm like, dude, is this a troll or what? Is this trolling? Does anybody even remember this now? Yeah.
Okay.
So we went and looked, and it was still there. I don't know if you're trolling or not. Around 1.2 and 1.7 update, there was always these rumors about pirate or fish stand on Growlgate, fish stand on Growlgate. It was this long-standing thing for like, I don't know, because Korea had it and whatever. So someone decided to ask it again. It's still there. Thanks for the troll.
Yeah, I am forever. I did see your question earlier. Go ahead and shoot me a Discord message, or actually just shoot this channel a Twitch message from your inbox, and we'll get you checked out. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Okay, so why isn't there patron time in the Fresh Start pre-order packs?
So patron time is generally included with the normal silver, gold, and Archeum packs.
Launch packs.
It's in there again. Yep, and it just wasn't appropriate to include in these. This is more just for the the reservation for the titles. And the cool thing with those titles, I mean, maybe this is TMI, but we actually had an internal artist design the icons for those, and they look really cool. So that's a neat thing that you'll see with those titles. We actually don't do a lot of the asset creation for ArcheAge, but that was one thing that we did do.
Very nice. Okay, next one. On Fresh Start. Now, this one's a big one. This one gets asked a lot. I saw it asked a lot in chat already.
I'm ready.
I told you we'd get to it, guys. On Fresh Start, will there be Apex?
Yes.
Okay.
So Fresh Start will have Apex. It's our normal ArcheAge model, where the game, you don't pay any upfront costs. You're not required to have a subscription. You can buy Patron. Apex is available. It's the standard thing.
Okay. Will Perdita statues be locked at the beginning of Fresh Start to avoid botting? Maybe you can make them locked to exploration proficiency level to limit the abuse, etc.
So there's a question about family fishing also. I'm not sure that if that one was asked already. I think it was. But that's along the list of things that we have asked to XL now. What can we do about Perdita statues and people getting them illicitly through third-party means? Now, in the past, we've policed them somewhat with GMs. And we do take penalties against people that we catch doing that. But I agree that it would be better to just hard gate it at the mechanics level to prevent that from being a thing. Mm-hmm. So that's out to XL. I don't know if we'll see any changes on that.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people are commenting. This is a tough thing to deal with, but a lot of people are saying, okay, well, if you're going to have Apex, then you're not fixing pay to win. The server is the same. It's just a Fresh Start server.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone can clip me talking about, our approach to the Prime model or the buy-to-play model. That I'll say it again. It's something that I feel very strongly about and would love to have for ArcheAge. But we're the publisher in this case. We don't have the final call with that. And XL decided to go with the original ArcheAge business model, and that includes Apex. So that's the situation that we have, and we'll move forward with Fresh Start like that.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. Let's see. Next one is Fresh Start and 4.5. What are the Gilda changes for cottages and farm cottages and stuff?
I don't have a good answer for you right now, and
Yeah.
the reason why is I have two builds that show conflicting things. So I don't know if it's going to be like Korea. I don't know if we'll have our modifications in place, our NAEU customizations that we've had in the past. So I'd like that to be resolved before I give a hard
And this
answer
is
on
a struggle that happens when you don't have the release build candidate, like I've been saying to a lot of people. So thank you for your patience. We will get that information to you as soon as we can. Having conflicting information means that we don't want to tell you one way or the other and have it potentially be wrong. We want to try to make it as correct as possible.
Yep.
But it's a good question, and it's on our radar, so you know it's on our radar. Okay. How are we supposed to get 16 by 16 farms? They take cargo. Cargo takes T2 buildings.
It's a good question. This issue was brought up with XL, and they agreed that cargo is inappropriate for that quest. So what they're doing is they're adding a special. So there's the leg of the quest where you talk to the guy, and he tells you to go get cargo, or she tells you to go get cargo. And at that step, instead, they will give you a specialty trade pack that disappears when you drop it. That's not sellable, so they just basically provide it for you. and you can use that to complete the quest. One of the things that I don't necessarily like about that is it gets rid of the risk of carrying a thing that you've created, but it also makes it more friendly. If you lose that pack, or you end up dropping it or something, you can just go back to that quest giver, abandon the quest, and retake it, and you get another pack. So that alleviates the cargo problem, but kind of gets rid of some of the fun parts about early stage farm sniping.
Yep. Okay, so these are a little bit more 4.5 related questions, but I do want to go over them. We have a little bit of time, so we can do that, and then we're going to we actually have a lot of giveaways today. Okay, 4.5 questions specifically. In 4.5 patch, agility doesn't give melee crit anymore. All my gear has agility roll on it, and it costs 1k gold to re-roll once. Is there going to be any compensation for this?
So that's an interesting change, and it's one that XL was felt strongly about making. And if you guys remember my general view on skills, it's just that, we don't try and influence those at all. XL has a team of designers that craft skills and balance that stuff. So we rely on them, and we've seen the meta shift before. We've seen a lot of stark changes happen throughout the course of the game's life, and this is just another one of those.
Yep. And that will not affect 4.5 because fresh start, because you're starting fresh there anyway. Okay, so where are the patch notes? This would answer so many questions because most of them are just, we need confirmation on stuff we expect to see from KR build, the XL build. So.
Yep, so we have early stages of patch notes. We don't have them in their final form. XL is still integrating builds for us currently. Generally, when we get those patch notes, they'll be in Korean. We'll translate them. We don't just translate them. We take them. We run through every single line of them. Our functionality QA team goes through them. We also identify things that are not included in those patch notes. All of that is copy, edited, and checked again. It's localized, and then it's made available on PTS when we release.
Right.
So you probably won't see them until that point.
Okay. Speaking of PTS, why so little time to jump on PTS? More like public preview server. I get that a lot.
Yep. So our general request is that we have 2 weeks of internal testing on a release candidate build, and then 2 weeks time on PTS. That's a thing that we've made clear, I think publicly even, but definitely something that we've always asked for. But as with the nature of design and schedules, sometimes more time is needed to complete a feature or integrate a thing or solve a problem that has arisen. So that puts us in a place where we have minimal time to look at the build prior or goes to PTS later than we expected. I think the schedule is very condensed at this point. We're releasing much earlier than we have in the past compared to the time between updates.
And we're the first one.
NA and EU are the first regions after Korea to release 4.5. So there's a lot of things at play here. The counterpoint to that is the server has generally been available in Korea for 4 months at this point. So they've had a chance to work through a lot of that stuff. I know that you guys, that doesn't really help you guys and the way that you see it. And I generally do agree that, it's just not enough time, but it's the thing that we have.
Yeah, I'm purposefully holding on the infamy question to the very last one. I just want them to know that. I control you guys right back.
Even?
Actually, let's just not talk about it. We'll just...
Oh,
no, I'm kidding.
man.
I'm kidding. Okay. All right, so this one's important. This has come to me many times, and I've worked with quite a few people to try to get this information for you. The earring and the dream ring, Ionod earring, library earring, and the dream ring quest. What is happening? Well, a lot of people realize that in 4.5, it's going to be a different result at the end of that quest, and that one is basically one that you need to recharge, essentially. It's either earring or dream ring. Now, obviously, if you started beforehand, people are concerned. I have the heroic dream ring and the rare version of the Ionod earring, and I'm worried too. What is going to happen? Well, we have shown that it basically just it splits. Okay, so if you have the ring or the earring before 4.5, so go out and start getting it now if you can, you will be on a different quest line, and that quest line will lead you to the current final permanent dream ring and earring, and then post 4.5, if you get the quest then and you get the items then, it will send you down a different path, similar but different and slightly easier, to a rechargeable one to the one over there. So that's really important to note. I just wanted to let you know. Okay, I guess we're done. We'll leave. No infamy? No, okay. We'll talk about infamy. Infamy. What's going on with that?
What do you want to know about it?
Okay, so in 4.5, will crime points be increased from 10 to 50 per kill?
Yup.
Yup.
That is the case. Not only will they be increased from 10 to 50 per kill, but acts of larceny, like stealing trees and stuff. That creates footprints, and assaulting somebody but not killing them also has the infamy points raised from 1 to 5. So y'all are going to jail. That's the case.
Okay. All right, there you go. Confirmation. It's happening. I told you, Stumpy, I'd get it to you. I told you. Because he's worried. He likes to kill people. Looks like you're going to be spending more time in jail, buddy. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, giveaways. All right, let's do them. Cole, I don't have the list with me. Actually, you do. You have the rundown? Yeah, right there. This is what I need.
Okay.
This piece right here. Thank you. Okay. We're going to give away, on this, we're going to give away 2 Archeum packs, 5 50 loyalty packs, 2 Spring Song Green Man suits, 2 Evergreen suits, 2 Autumn Green Men suit, 2 Cheerberry Yada costumes. Then we're going to give away this one right here. 4 ArcheAge Legends Silver entry packs. That's going to be the $10 one. And then 2 ArcheAge Legends Platinum entry pack, and that's going to be the $100 one. So
hold on, I want to change those X's up.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to say, like, if you're in favor of the increase in infamy,
there it is.
Say guilty. If you like it better the way it is with the reduced cost, say innocent.
Yeah, let's see some guilties and innocents. Let's see how many people.
If you like the change and you want them to go to jail, guilty.
Yeah, I'm going to go with guilty, personally. Look at this. Look at the... Guilty is overwhelming. Overwhelming guilty right now.
I don't know. There's a lot of innocent.
I mean, I'm seeing them trickle in now, but I think people want to see people go to jail.
I
mean,
I don't know, man.
If you're PKing,
yeah,
go to jail.
I think I'm seeing a little bit
more. Look, I even see
there.
some mods coming in with the guilty. Okay.
Oh, man.
There's some more innocent now. I'm still seeing guilty.
Trials
okay.
It is.
All right, guys. We're going to do these giveaways now.
What would you like to start with?
Let's start with the Archeum packs. Let's get those 2 out of the way. This is going to be, there's like 830-ish of you guys here. Is only going to work on twitch.tv/TrionWorlds, so make sure you're here and you put in guilty or innocent. Those X's will not do anything for you. I'm kidding. All you got to do is say something in chat and you're fine. But we like sprucing it up a little bit. Okay, so the 2 winners for the Archeum pack, that's the current Archeum pack, is Moving Gun 1 and Names Tack. Congratulations to you guys. We will be sending out these in a Twitch inbox message that will either provide you with a code that you need to go to glyph.net/redeem to redeem. Make sure you're logged in when you go do that. Or what's going to happen is we're going to ask you for your server and your username so that we can apply it directly to your account on some of these. So please be aware of that. Okay, next one, we're going to do the 5 50 loyalty packs. I would love to have 50 loyalty right now.
What would you buy with it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I just got the rocket glider, and I dropped down to, like, I think 7 or something, and I'm already back up to 90. I would love to get 50 right now. It would put me in range of some of the things that I really want. Excuse me. I think I want, like, there's another glider in there that I really want. Okay, well, let's do this. We got 5 50 loyalty winners. We got DJ RB. We got Tiny Draco 21. Congratulations. Stumpy. Congratulations. Akaendra. Congratulations. And Calhoun's_J. Congratulations. You guys are going to get 50 loyalty. I think that's one of the ones where we send you, potentially send you a code, or we have to just assign it to your account. So please make sure you check your Twitch inbox and your Twitch other inbox, because for some reason there's 2, and then we'll get a message out to you. And if we don't get back to you by Monday, definitely follow up. Just shoot us another message in Twitch and we'll get to you. All right, so this next one, we're going to give away 2 Spring Song Green Men suits. Okay, 2 Spring Song Green Men suits. And actually, let's see if I can, I think it's in here. Spring Song Green Men. Oh no, I didn't put it. No, it's not in this one. I had an image. I didn't actually use it. Okay, let's give those away. That's going to go to Reinuman. Congratulations. And Gentle Bruce. What a great name.
Congrats, you 2.
Yeah, congrats.
I still see guilties coming through in chat.
I know, there's so many guilties. What's up, Pavlo? How's it going, dude? It's been years. All right, you should hit me up on my Twitter. We'll reconnect. Okay, so let's go to Evergreen Suit. Again, that's the other one that I don't have on here, unfortunately. We have the pirate one. I thought I put it down here at the bottom, but I guess not. Okay, Evergreen Suit, we got the winners. Benjamin83 and Schnooli. What a fun name, Schnooli. More free stuff, that's right. Okay, the next one is going to be for the Autumn Green Man Suit, which I believe is this one right here. That's the Autumn Green Man suit.
It's a reasonable call. Look at it.
It's autumny. Autumny.
Reads automate to me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give this. We're gonna give it two-way for this one. It's gonna be Zins S. Congratulations. And Kalok, or Cloak 8. Congratulations. All right. Good job. All right. Next one we're gonna do is the Cheerberry Yada costume, which I don't have. We are giving away these ones, or we're not giving away these ones, but
that's Prince Alteo.
Yeah. Prince Yateo and
Greeniette.
Princess Greeniette.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, and let's give away those two. Emiro 1, congratulations, and Kazmir Pulaski. Congratulations. You guys got a Cheerberry Yada costume. You will get that message in your Twitch inbox. Next one we're going to do the ArcheAge Legends Silver Pack, which is the... Where is it? Not this one. The $10 pack, and then we're also going to give away. So we're going to give away how many of the silver one?
I think it's 4.
Yep, 4, and then 2.
Yep.
So this is going to get you into fresh start ability to make a character. You'll have an account, and you'll be able to set your character up now, and then you won't have to stress when servers launch. So this is for early entry to get your character and name set up, but you will not be able to get into the server yet, not until we launch. For a fresh start. All right, and the winner for the Legends Silver Pack is Christy1810. Congratulations. Welcome to Fresh Start. And King of Wolves 007 or 007. Congratulations. You too are also welcome to the Fresh Start. Mass Hunter, also the Silver Entry Pack. And Angry Tales. Very nice. I like those. Now we're going to go on to the big ones. These are the 2 big ones. The Platinum. Let's go ahead and roll it. I think it's time. We got like 700 people in this, so if you win, that's pretty good. FJohn_, you got 2 N's in your name. Congratulations. You did it, even with 2 N's in your name. And Property of Luxon. Congratulations. You guys are both into the early... It's not early access. What do we... It's like entry. It's an entry.
Character
early
reservation.
entry. Yeah, character reservation, name entry, reservation. Get with the Platinum Pack, so you're going to get all this great stuff in here, which is... pretty sweet. Thank you guys so much for joining. I do want to say, though, if your questions were not answered, or if you have more questions on top of the answers that we gave you, please go ahead and read through this Fresh Start link first. Go to the forums and check it out. As you can see, there are a lot of questions in here, and I've gone through all of these pages. Let's see if there's new ones. Yeah, there's probably some new ones here. I've gone through all of these pages, and I've called out those questions. I've sent them over to the team. Team has given me answers. We have answers. I'm actually going to be sprucing them up so they look nice and they're readable instead of my chicken scratch grammar that I had to send to them. And then we're going to get those put into the Fresh Start, the first page, the OP, original post here. Okay, that way you'll have more questions. So thank you guys so much for joining. We'll have more information next week. Next week is going to be the dragon taming. So please swing by if you want to learn more about how to have your very own dragon mount pet. It's like all 3 things combined. It can even do like true flight, which is insane.
Yo, that's worth watching too. That thing is massive.
It's amazing. It's huge. I mean, it's
Wyvern size. So,
yeah. And you can just it's pretty awesome. So we'll talk more about that. Thank you, Crolin, for joining us and giving us all
Happy to join,
these.
man, and happy to see you guys in chat again. It's good to be here.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a great weekend.